Hey there, it's Linda, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about the 10 most common grad school interview questions that you might be asked and how to answer them. And this is based on my own experiences going through these interviews, as well as advice I got from my clinical psychology professor, but these questions do tend to appear across different fields as well. By far, one of the most common questions that you might be asked is some variation of, "Tell me about yourself." So this question is almost guaranteed to show up on your interview, but it's often the ones that students struggle with the most. And why is that? Well, this question is very general and very vague, and there's a lot of different ways that you can answer it, and there's not necessarily a right or a wrong answer, although some answers are definitely better than others. So the reason that interviewers probably ask this is to get more information about you that wasn't on your application, and also see what motivates you and what makes you different and unique compared to the other candidates. So often students, they actually get sidetracked in talking too much about themselves or summarizing their application again. Instead, you probably want to tell the interviewers what made you interested and passionate about this field, and also tell them more about your academic and research background and what makes you a really great fit for this program. Just remember that everything you tell them should build up to the idea that your life has naturally led you to grad school and to this particular field and program. Question number 2, why are you interested in this program? List all the reasons why this program is the perfect choice for the field that you're studying. So you might want to mention the faculty, the theoretical orientation, the course offerings, the student activities, the job placement record, the location, and any and all reasons that demonstrate why you chose to apply for this particular program. So I remember I had to answer this question during my interview as well, and I remember saying that I really liked how the program had small class sizes, because I really do tend to thrive in this type of environment, and I really liked how that would allow me to build connections and build community with my classmates and my professors. You may also want to mention how this program will align with your future career goals, and if this is your top choice for this particular program, then definitely mention that as well. Question 3, what are your research interests? So most graduate programs will involve doing some research, so be prepared for this question, even though your research interests might change over time. Their interviewers might also ask you what research you're involved in right now. So they might ask you, well, what research are you doing? What are your hypotheses? What kind of analyses are you doing? What did you find? What were the limitations of your study? And if you could do your study all over again, what would you do differently? So definitely be specific about the population you want to work with, the topic you want to research, the person or research supervisor you want to work with, as well as the methods you want to use. And of course, this is really going to depend on the field that you're applying to. So for example, let's say you're applying for a clinical psychology program, and you might say that you're interested in studying depression. Well, that's actually really general and a really vague answer, and instead you might want to say something more like, I'm interested in studying the developmental effects of postpartum depression in young mothers on their children using a mixed methods longitudinal design under so-and-so's supervision. And definitely also explain what led you to develop this research interest and how your research interest aligns with your chosen supervisors. Question 4, what are your strengths and weaknesses? So give about 3 strengths that indicate that you would be able to study effectively, achieve your goals in graduate school, and also be a valuable asset to the field. So for example, when I answered this question during my interview, I said that I was really hardworking, I wouldn't give up when things got challenging, and I always had a positive and optimistic attitude about life. So when you're talking about your weaknesses, definitely give an answer that's genuine, but a weakness that you're also really trying to improve to be able to turn into your strength later on. So for example, you might have a lack of confidence and doubt your ability sometimes, but maybe you're constantly trying to learn and improve yourself to increase your confidence. And I think when I did my interview, the answer that I gave was that I often took on too many tasks and sometimes became kind of overwhelmed by it. And now I'm really trying to constantly work on my self-care and maintaining my mental well-being. Of course, when you answer this question, make sure your answer is genuine and personal to you. Question 5, what are the major issues in the field? And they might also ask you some kind of variation of this question, such as what controversies exist, what are the gaps in the literature, or they might actually ask you, what have you read recently that really influenced your thinking? So at this point, the interviewers are really trying to determine if you're really up to date on what's happening in the field. They might also be interested in assessing your intellectual abilities and your curiosities. Before your interview, definitely make sure you're familiar with current influential research, especially related to your own topic of study. Be able to speak on the contents and the findings, the implications of that research, and other important details. And definitely don't be afraid to share your own opinion on those topics as well. In this case, you'll want to select articles and books that are related to your academic interests, your personal values, and your goals in some way. Question 6. Tell me about a time you encountered failure. So it's very likely you'll be given a scenario question like this or a similar one. Some other examples of questions you might be asked are, tell me about a time you had to overcome a challenge, tell me about a time you had to work as a team, tell me about a time you had to resolve a conflict or deal with someone who is difficult. So in this case, you might want to think of one example that fits for many of these different scenarios. And at this point, the interviewers are really trying to assess your attitude towards failure and your ability to overcome challenges. So this question is really giving the interviewers a deeper understanding of how you can overcome unexpected challenges, both in an academic and a professional setting. So definitely use this question to demonstrate your ability to learn from your past mistakes. Question 7. Tell me about a time you achieved a significant accomplishment. Sharing a proud moment with the interviewer will show them that you can be successful and also what you really value in your life. So try to focus on something that's directly related to your field of study if you can. So you can use this question to tell a story that demonstrates your competence and also then relate it to why you want to attend graduate school. If you're the type of person who doesn't really like to talk so much about your accomplishments because you might feel like you're bragging, then you can instead focus on the obstacles that you had to overcome to get to the finish line, how you overcame those obstacles, and what you learned from this experience. Question 8. What can you bring to this graduate program? So in other words, why should we accept you over the many other applicants who applied for this position? So at the end of the day, the interviewer's goal is really to identify a few standout candidates to accept into their program. So show them that you're the ideal candidate. So provide your interviewer with a detailed explanation of why you would be the ideal candidate for that particular program. So you should make it your goal to go into a bit more detail about your experiences, your qualifications, and your skills that would make you a very valuable asset to their program. So let them know that you're very passionate about this and you've been working for years to get here. Show them that you have the skills and the personality traits and give examples. Show them that you're willing to learn to be the best that you can be in this field. Question 9. What other schools and programs have you applied to? Who are you interested in working with in those programs? And have you interviewed in other places? So the goal of this question is really to see how serious you are about pursuing this particular field, profession, and research area. If you've applied to work with people who are all in the same field, that's actually a positive. But if you've applied to work with people from very diverse areas, this could show a lack of focus and interest in research. So it's really important to be honest when answering this question, but you also want to make it a point to emphasize why and how you became interested in this particular program. For example, you might say, well, I've applied to other social psychology programs in Vancouver, but your program really stood out to me. The other programs have a lot to offer, but your faculty and program curriculum really aligned with my career goals and research interests. Of course, you can go into more detail than that, but definitely emphasize why you're interested in this particular program, and if it's one of your top choices again, definitely mention that too. Question 10. Where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years? Or in other words, what are your long-term career goals? So the interviewers are going to want to see that you would be an excellent investment for their program. They not only want to accept students who are likely to finish the program, but also students who would make great advocates and examples of people who finished their education from this program and made a positive contribution to the field. They really want to know that you're invested in the field as your future career and that you feel like you'd be a great fit for it and it really fits with your long-term career goals. So if they see that this is in alignment, then they're going to feel more confident in accepting you into their program. So I really hope this helps you prepare for your grad school interviews. And if you're in the process right now of applying, then you might want to check out this playlist for some more tips. And if you're looking for more videos on navigating through college and beyond, then definitely be sure to subscribe for more videos. So thank you so much for watching today. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye!